podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, March 10th. This is a podcast about knitting books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. I have various social medias you can follow me on. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. I am most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there if you'd like to keep up with what I get up to during the times that I'm not recording. I also have show notes, so links to things that I will be talking about will be on my blog. It will also be down below if you are on YouTube, but if you want the direct links, that will be on my blog. I also have tech editing information. I am a knitting pattern tech editor, and if you know of someone who is interested in having a editor for any upcoming knitting patterns, I would love to talk with you or your friend. If you like to send me a message, or you can check out the Graceful Edits tab, which can be found on my blog. We have a lot of knitting to talk about. I am in a different spot today. I'm just experimenting with different locations and lightings and camera settings, and so I just wanted to switch things up today, so let me know what you think. I'm on the couch and it's very comfortable, so I do appreciate that. We have a lot of knitting to talk about, like I said, so let's just jump right into things. I have a Coke Zero that I had with lunch that I'm still enjoying. So if you like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, whatever it may be, I hope it is either bringing you joy and or rest, or I am helping you get through a task that is not as much fun. I have laundry to fold later, surprise, and here comes Rusty. So that'll be fun. Anyway, you do all those things, none of those things, whatever it may be, you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So everyone, hello, how are you? I hope you are well. We have a lot of knitting to talk about. That's the third time I've said that. I apologize. And it's a lot of one type of thing, really. I am in full sock swing. There are a few non-sock items, so we'll go over those first. But it is the I Love Books and Sock Knitting Knit Along by Earthtonegirl that is happening right now, and so I am like all the socks. I'm trying to finish all my socks, really. So we do have socks that I have knit. I have a pair of finished object socks that I need to go grab that I forgot to grab. We do have a test knit that I get to show you, 2 test knits that I get to show you, and a few things of future sock knitting that I would like to cast on in the near future because I have open sock needles. There's things to talk about. I'm feeling a little discombobulated right now, so we're going to try and gather things together and move forward in a clear and concise way. I think I'm just in a different location, and that's kind of throwing me off a little bit. This angle may also be better. I've lowered you down slightly, so I apologize. But, so test knitting. This is not finished, but it is out now. This was my test knit for Life is Cozy. This is the Filoli shawl, or scarf. I think it's shawl. I'm pretty sure it's shawl. It is out. It is mosaic knitting. I am knitting the small size, which is 1 skein of each color. It's 2 colors. The large size, I believe, uses two skeins of each color. And as you can see, there's some very fun texture and obviously mosaic knitting that gets repeated throughout the whole pattern. My 2 yarns are Hue Loco in a colorway called Unicorn Hideout. Lots of grays and fun pops of color. And then my dark blue is Lambstring yarns that I've had in my stash for a long time. So that is very nice. It is a great stash buster. Again, if you've got two special skeins that go well together that you've just kind of been holding on to and not wanting to use because you didn't know what exactly was the perfect project. This is the year, my friends, of using the nice things. We are going to love and appreciate the nice things. We are going to use those special skeins that we've saved up, and this is a very, very worthy project for sure because it really shows off color well, and you have the fun of the mosaic knitting. So this pattern is out now, so that will be linked in my show notes. You should definitely go check it out. Obviously I didn't get it done, but we're making progress. Slow and steady, but we are making progress, so that is exciting. Second of all, test knits that are currently being worked on that I'm kind of behind on, but not like super behind on. And maybe that's very subjective, but I'm plugging along. The due date hasn't passed is really what I'm trying to say. I am getting to test knit the Avenue T by Tori. Looks so much like a sweater, wouldn't you say? Clearly this is a sweater. This is a tee, a summery tee that Tori has designed to go along with the Avenue vest, which I finished earlier this year in February. Mine is red, it's knit out of Malabrigo Rios. I love it. I will be knitting more of the Avenue vests, and I'm very excited to be having the tee, or knitting the tee to have in my knitting wardrobe. What's very cool about this pattern, and I know that Tori has done this before in the Metropolitan pullover, which I test knit last year, but it's a contiguous sleeve construction, which is very cool, and it is different than the Metropolitan pullover, but just in some design elements. The rest of it, the construction of it, is very similar. So you can see here, ooh, can you see? Can I accurately show this to you? Okay, so you can see that there's some increases that have gone on here, and now I am increasing in this little sleeve section here to create the shoulder cap and basically make the sleeve part. And that's what makes it a contiguous. That there are other definitions of contiguous that I couldn't tell you because I don't know what they are. Maybe I'll include them somewhere since I'm getting really fancy with my editing now. But I'm enjoying working on this. Another really fun thing is that I'm getting to use yarn that I've had in my yarn collection for a while now, and I've been saving this. Again, we use the nice things. I've been saving this for a summery tee, but I'm using Heathered Handmades, her Merino linen sock in the Eucalyptus colorway. And I just finished the Aion cowl for Heather as a sample that she just had at the first, oh, what was it called? It was like the Brazos Valley Yarn Festival or something like that. Yes, Brazos Valley Fiber Festival. That just happened this past weekend. It happened in downtown Bryan, which is very cool. It was very fun to see all the pictures. Heather was a vendor there among other amazing vendors, and she had a sample that I knit, which was the Aion cowl, which you all have seen in previous episodes. That was a long story to tell. All that to say, Heather has kits for that Aion cowl if you are interested in knitting that. I would highly recommend checking out her website. And also, if you're interested in some summery fibers, this is her Merino linen sock, which is 90% superwash merino and 10% linen. So it's got a very nice drape. It's still got a nice bit of fuzz to it from the merino and the linen. Different types of fuzz, and I really love this colorway. Am I behind? Maybe a little bit. I've seen people who are done with this test. I've also seen people who are around the same place that I am. So I'm judging my time. I'm figuring it out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Whoopies. But either way, the Avenue T by Tori should be out sometime in April, I think. So that's very exciting. I've really enjoyed working on that. My last test knit that I have not started yet, but I did start the first process of it because this is something that I spun yarn for, which I'm so excited for. So I am testing the Analogous Shawl by Shanalines Designs. I am using stash yarn that I don't remember what it is, but we'll think about it later and we'll try and remember what it is. But I've had this in my stash for a bit. I believe this is like leftover from some project / might have been frogged from a previous project maybe. But either way, I had a braid of Malabrigo Nube, which is their fiber roving, which was 100% pure merino wool. It was 4 ounces or 113 grams approximately in the color Arco Iris. There's the tag. Oop. Arco Iris. And this has been in my stash since the Yarntopia days, which if you are from Houston and have been in Houston for a long period of time, you would remember amazing Yarntopia. That is where I learned how to knit and where I worked for a hot second while I was in college. A wonderful place, wonderful people, very near and dear to my heart. It really got me started, truly got me started on my knitting journey. So it's very fun to find these like little Yarntopia tags throughout my stash. And I'm very grateful to now have this yarn that I spun for this Analogous shawl. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. It is just beautiful. So I got roughly what the pattern calls for. I may be a few yards short, but that's okay. It's one of those types of patterns that you can adjust depending on the yardage that you have. But it is heavy fingering, sport weight. I am testing the sport version. There will be a fingering weight version and a sport weight version. This is just kind of like roughly in the middle. It's fingering in some places, it's sport in some places, it may be a DK in some places, but that is the beauty of handspun, you know? I am so happy with how this turned out. I couldn't really tell you about the methods of spinning that I do. I don't really know the technical terms. I just kind of do it, which is not helpful. But I take the braid of fiber, I divide it in half. Actually, no, that's not true. I fold it in half and then I separate those two and then I spin those separately and then I apply them together. That's how I normally do it to get the barber pulling. And I'm just very happy with how this turned out. So I think it'll look really, really beautiful with this like oatmeal-y creamy color. I think it'll be very pretty. So I'm excited to get this started. I have been busy and haven't been able to get this started. Also, I need to find open needles. But once I finish a few things, this will get cast on. And I'm very excited about this. This is not due for a while because Shayna very kindly included spinning time in the deadline. So if we wanted to spin yarn for it, we could, if we didn't have any in our stash or wanted to spin up something new, which is what I decided to do. So I'm pretty happy with it. So yes, looking forward to knitting that up. I think that will be very fun. And who doesn't love knitting with handspun? It's the best. Did I say what yardage I got? I can't remember the exact number. It was slightly less than what the pattern calls for, and again, it's an adjustable one, so something that I didn't look up beforehand that I should have, but that's okay. So those are all my test knits, and yes, I'm gonna go grab that pair of finished socks that I have, so I can show you my one finished object, and we will move right along. Okay, everyone. So I'm really excited about this, like, this knit along. I love books and sock knitting knit along that's going on right now. Like I said, it's being hosted by Earthtonegirl. Her name is Denise, and she has been sharing some very inspirational pictures from various people who are knitting along, participating in the knit along, posting their books, posting all their kind of stuff. And I'm just very inspired. I am really using this time to try and motivate myself to finish all the current half socks that I have going, or socks that have just gotten kind of stuck. So I did finish my first pair of half finished socks. These are the Mermaid Avenue socks by Summer Lee. I used a skein of Loco in the Phyllis sock, and I do not have the ball band, so I don't remember what colorway it is, but that's okay. I knit the first one last year sometime, and I, for some reason, just really did not like knitting this stitch texture. It just was not a fun time. For whatever reason, I couldn't wrap my mind around it, and it was just really not a fun experience that has nothing to do with the pattern. It really was just like, we were traveling, and I, like I said, I couldn't wrap my mind around it for some reason. And that's really what put me off knitting the second one. I was just not excited about the experience and didn't want to knit the second one. And just finally bit the bullet and casted it on, got started, and was like flying. I loved it. It was so much fun, and for some reason it was just so much easier. I knew exactly what I was doing. I didn't need to read the pattern. It was really great. I was having a fun time, and just flew by. So I'm grateful for that. I'm sad that I had a bad first experience, but that's my own fault for whatever reason. It just wasn't a good time, and I'm grateful now that I have a pair of finished socks that I've been putting off knitting. So again, these are the Mermaid Avenue socks by Summer Lee. I will be knitting these again. I've really enjoyed knitting them, and the pattern is really not hard at all. It, like, again, I don't really know what the problem was the first time. I was just not in it. But when you're in it, it's a lot of fun, and it's a really fun texture to really just kind of like have with your very variegated and speckled yarns, then it just kind of creates a fun texture. So would recommend. It is not hard at all. Do not take my dislike and apprehension as a sign that you shouldn't knit it, because you should, because it's a lot of fun. I think this would be really fun with self-striping too. Just because of like how the yarn gets carried and pulled up to other rows and things like that. I think that would be really fun to see. So I might actually give that a try. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. So since we did things out of order and I showed you my test knits and now I have shown you one finished object, now we're going to go back to my works in progress. The other socks that I have going. I've been working very seriously on 2 pairs of socks, and I have frogged and kind of prepared another pair of socks that that I've gotten stuck on. So what I did finish one of these socks, my Sebastian socks, who is a crab, from the Little Mermaid. This yarn is Knit Picks Felici. I have really loved working with it. I have another pair out of Knit Picks Felici. I have more of it in my stash. It is so hard wearing. It is just so lovely to knit with and to wear. I love it so much. I did this textured knit. It is just 1 row of 1x1 purl and then 1 row of plain knitting. And then I did a 2x2 cuff. I did my contrast teal. Also, as a shout out for Denise's or Earthtonegirl's tutorials, her tutorial for the shadow wrap heel is what changed my sock life. I love this heel. Her tutorial is so clear and easy to follow. So if you are interested in trying out a different type of heel, would recommend that one. It's really great for self-striping things because obviously you can see that it like fits in really well. It doesn't break up the stripes. Also great for color work. And it just fits my foot really well. So I'm very, very happy about that. But I am so happy with this sock. I have started on sock number 2. And I've just started the texture portion. So I'm just barely into this and need to continue to make my merry way. We got a bit to go, but that's okay. This currently does not have a book to go with it. But I'll figure that out. And it'll be a fun time. So I am just plugging along. I'm currently still in my first little ball of Sebastian. And I'm intending to knit until I run out of this and then color, like finagle my stripes with the second ball, just so I don't have 2 little scraggles hanging out in my stash. That way I just have 1. But that is my own personal preference. I know some people would prefer to not do it that way, and that's totally valid. Next up, another pair of socks that I really just like got stuck on. I knit the first one and I did not have a good time. Why? I don't know, because this second sock I am just flying through and it's just been such a delight, and it's like, why didn't I do this sooner? I could have had these socks done. I will also say the same thing with my Avenue socks and these socks that I'm about to show you. My sock abilities have grown significantly, so there are things that I wish I could change about them, but because I had already knit 1 full sock of each pair, I couldn't really do that, and I didn't really want to rip it out because it was a perfectly good sock, and it's not like it fits. It doesn't fit like the best way it possibly could. that I now know fits my foot best, but I didn't know that back then. And it doesn't fit badly. It just doesn't fit the best it possibly could. This is also going to look crazy. Every time I hold this sock up, it just makes me laugh because it looks absolutely tiny. And yes, it does fit. I've tried it on multiple times because every time I look at it, it's like, there's no way this thing fits my foot. I've got tiny feet, but not that tiny. The reason why it looks so tiny, my friends, is because it's ribbing, and so it really stretches out. It's very deceiving. But this is the Seafarer sock. I have the book right here. It is from the Sock Project book from Summerly. This is a very Summerly heavy episode. Seafarer socks, that's what they are. And all over cables. Very easy cables, but still all over cables. It's a little 4x4 or 2x2, I should say. 4-stitch cable. Very easy, nothing challenging. But for some reason, I think it also had to, again, like my sock knitting ability was not up to par, not up to snuff. And so me knitting these cables was really slowing me down with sock number 1. And I was just not having a good time. I have flown through sock number 2. Once I finished the Mermaid Avenue socks, I immediately casted this on so I could get it started and I could have that momentum of like, I finished a pair that I was really putting off and I wasn't having a good time, and then I was, and maybe that'll be the same way with these, and it was. It is. So I'm just making my merry way down the foot now. I've done both heel turns, heel flap and gusset. And now I'm just working on the foot, and I'll be done before I know it, I'm pretty sure. The yarn I'm using a DPN as my cable needle, in case you are curious. I'm not doing these without a cable needle. I have tried. And there's no shame in not cabling without a cable needle, especially when you're on 9-inch circulars and your stitches are teeny tiny. Use a cable needle. Use a DPN. Use something. It'll make your life so easy. We're not trying to impress anybody. So for my heel flap and heel turn, I'm using Knit Pick Stroll in the Rainstorm Heather colorway. It's a dark teal. My cuff and toe is this, which is the Plucky Knitter in the Swell to See You colorway. It's very nice. I'm excited to have this in my stash for other things as well. And then the main event, which is Night Owl Fibres in the Let's Dance or Just Dance, Let's Dance colorway. Self-striping, we love to see it. A delightful time. I think it looks super fun with these cables. So, yeah. These are great. These are definitely not my like, we are flying through these, although I just said that about this. This is not like I could knit a vanilla sock in a day type situation. This is something that takes time, but good things take time. And I'm excited to be able to wear these, even though they're exactly how I want them to. That's my own fault. I didn't know. I had no idea. And that's okay. That's fine. Yeah, so I'm just making my way. This was paired with Funny Story by Emily Henry, which I have now finished. The Mermaid Avenue socks were paired with Sybil Secret by Juliette Marillier, which is finished. So that's good. We love working on our reading goals if you have them, or if you don't, if you just want to read for fun, which is makes it sound like I don't read for fun. That's literally all I do. But I enjoy having a number goal to work towards in regards to books, but to each their own. To each their own. So those are the socks that I've really been working on. I do also have in this same bag, this needs a heel. This is a very Hobbit Christmas by Mustache Yarns. This is a plain vanilla sock. This was my Nutcracker cast on. Very long leg. But I love a long leg. It is great. I need some mindless knitting for tomorrow. That would be sock knitting, whether that is this second sock, because this could work, or this, or do I cast on a brand new sock? I kind of want to do that. But would that be smart? I don't know. I have sock sets. I have sets like things I want to do and yarn I want to wind up and things that are already wound up, and I just want to do them, and I don't know if I should. The other pair of socks that I did frog because they just didn't fit well. I didn't do them correctly. It was early on in my sock rejuvenation, and so I was a little bit adventurous and didn't really know what I was doing, and I learned things, and now I know better. So I frogged what I had, and I now will make the most adorable pair of socks. I'm so excited. So if you have been watching the podcast for a while, you may remember this when it was a sock. But I knit one sock of the Little Dots socks by Summerly. Surprise. And I decided that I was going to do an afterthought heel because I had just done my first pair of Advent socks from Freckled Whimsy, and had successfully done an afterthought heel and was like, this is amazing. It's going to be life-changing. This is awesome. And this was also like my first pair of colorwork socks, really into my colorwork or my sock journey, rejuvenation, if you will. And one, the heel did not work out very well. And two, the sock didn't really fit. It was a bad time. And three, also, I had completely done the colorwork chart wrong. It just did not look good. I was so disappointed. It was such a sad time. And this is just a friendly reminder that regardless of how long you've been knitting, regardless of your knitting level, everyone has these times, these mistakes that they make, and it's really okay. Like, just because I've been knitting for such a long time at this point, I still make silly mistakes like that, and that's okay. You know, it's a learning experience. We're all human. No one's perfect. It's fine. It's fine. Just as a friendly reminder. So, yes, this was also inspired by Summer had posted like forever ago that she had been doing a knit along for this pair of socks, and she had posted this really cute pair. It was like black and white, and it was so cute, and I really wanted to make a pair like that but couldn't find the yarn quite exactly like what I wanted in my stash, so I went with this dark brown and this pink colorway. And it was to match a shirt that Lorelai Gilmore wears in a random episode of the Gilmore Girls, one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And it was so cute. I made a little collage and I posted it on Instagram, and it was just such a good time. And then it didn't work out. Like, it was a total fail. It was so sad. So I just ripped it all out I ripped it all out. It was not fun to frog, and that made me more irritated. But when I get this pair, I'm gonna have a pair of these socks, my friends. Like, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. So keep your eyes peeled. This is gonna be happening soon. This is definitely happening within the I Love Books and Sock Knitting Knit Along. Because these need a redemption story. So, Little Lot Socks by Summer Lee, coming to a catnip podcast near you. It'll be great. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. So let's just move along, shall we? So I have things to show you. I have socks that I want to cast on. I have things already wound up. I have things that I have currently wound up, and I have things that I have obtained recently, and they are not wound up yet, but I want to start them. Or I want to do so. So first of all, this is probably going to happen very soon. This is so exciting. This was a sock set from Kettle and Hearth Fibres. This is the Forest with Lime colorway, and this is the Ember sock set. So we've got a beautiful forest green and this amazing lime green, which is just beautiful. Again, Kettle and Hearth. She puts together really amazing sock sets, so I would highly recommend you checking out her website. I also have an affiliate link with her. If you are interested in using my link, that would be amazing. That can be found in my show notes. But what is this going to be? I've had many thoughts about this in regards to what this is going to be. I think this is going to be either the first Colorwork Cuff Club sock. And do we want to guess who it's by? Did you guess Summer Lee? Because you would be correct. Or another pattern that is by, do you want to guess? Did you guess Summer Lee? Because you would be correct. It is in this book. I don't know if they're available for individual purchase, but they are. You can look at them on Instagram. I almost said Instagram. Ravelry. I originally almost said Facebook. That's definitely not it. This is part of her Stripes recipe, number 2, and she calls it the French Connection. And I don't want to show you any, but those are them. So just very simple, straightforward stripes, because it's either going to be that or the ones with the flowers from the first Colorwork Cuff Club. Because we love to see it. Let me find a picture. This is on Summer's Instagram, but these are them. This is the first pair. So I think that would be really fun as well. I really just want to keep it to these 2 colors. I had thought about maybe throwing in another color. I know I talked about that in the past, but I really just want to maybe keep it to these 2 colors. So I really want to do that. I think that would be very fun and pretty straightforward, which is really nice. I feel like after the cables and the Mermaid Avenue texture and the potential color work and also the other texture of my Sebastian socks, not that this is hard. None of these things are hard, but it's just like, maybe it would be nice to have a little vanilla sock action with a little bit of stripes going on. I also have in a random bag this, which I do know is Night Owl Fibres, and I don't know what the colorway name is, but I do know it is Night Owl Fibres. So we love a good self-striping. I think this would be fun. This might be a fun pair of socks for Sam, because why not? And yeah, so there's that would be just probably a plain vanilla pair as well. And then, my friends, I have some fun things to show you. I treated myself to a special skein of yarn, of self-striping yarn, and then also my sister and brother-in-law gave me a gift card to Loco for my birthday. And I had a fun time of picking out yarn and ordering some yarn, and it has arrived. And so I now have 2 sock sets from Loco, and I am so excited. I did a really bright fun one, and then I did one that was not outside of my comfort zone necessarily, but something that I don't really have a lot of in my sock yarn collection. So this is the Merino sock set, and this is the Amber, Nectarine, and Currant colorways. So I'm assuming this is Currant and this is Nectarine down here. And then obviously the big skein is Amber. So I'm feeling that this is probably going to be a Colorwork Cuff Club pattern by Summerly. Say it together now. Summerly. She's just got really great sock patterns. I mean, I know we all know it. I'm just repeatedly saying it. And then this one is so happy and bright. This is, the main skein is called Her Kink is Lava, and then we have Poppy and Cherry as the 2 mini skeins. And I know on my camera it's showing up that they're pretty similar. I assume on my computer and on your screen they'll be a little bit different, but I am so happy with this. It is just such a beautiful, beautiful colorway. And it was a very nice birthday gift. So I'm really excited about these. Then, my friends, I have been a fan of this dyer for a really long time. I have never gotten anything from them. And not for lack of like not wanting to, it's just like never was the right time. Or I never hit the shop updates like correctly or just like right on the dot or whatever. And so I did this time. I made a point to treat myself. That's another thing that I've really been like trying to implement, is like it's okay to treat yourself. Also supporting small businesses and small makers, that's important. And so I just wanted to do that for myself as a little pat on the back. This is from Nomadic Yarns. They do the most beautiful, beautiful self-striping yarn, and recently have been releasing yarns based off of tropes and romantasy tropes and rom-com tropes in books and movies. Obviously it applies to both. And it's fun to see what colors get paired with what tropes, and then if you find a trope that you really like and you really like the colors, it's like, ooh, I have to have that. And that happened to happen. How many times can I say the word happen? It just, the stars aligned. I really enjoy the slow burn trope. That is one of my favorites, I would say. Maybe not top favorite, but I do enjoy it. And this colorway, my friends, is just so beautiful. Can we even? And I got it on the tweed base because why not? And I am so so excited, my friends. I've not had any of this yarn before, and when I got it, it was like, ah, it's finally happening. I'm so excited. They always post these like beautiful pictures of the gobstopper balls and like the skeins, and it's knit up and it's so cute, and like the colors are great, and then you see the tweed and they've got fun names, and it's like, ah, I need all of them. I don't have the money for all of them, but I will get one. So this is the card. I am geeking out too much about this, but I don't care. This is a knitting podcast. I assume this is probably why you are here. If you're not, cool. Anyway, I am so excited about this yarn, and I'm going to do my darndest to not save this, because we use the nice things. I got this on purpose to treat myself, and I am going to enjoy every second of this. So maybe this should be my like reward of finishing all my old sock projects. I think that might be a fun thing to keep in mind. So, I'm so excited about this. I love it, and I love the tweed. Oh, it makes me so happy. Yes. So, is that all that I have? I think it is. It was very sock heavy. I apologize. But I guess, I mean, we're just embracing the sock life right now. So I'm sorry if you're not a sock knitter, if you're not interested in socks. Maybe this will inspire you to give it a try. Give it a try at least once. I wouldn't say write it off completely if you're anti-sock knitting. It's a lot of fun. They're great portable projects. There are so many different ways that you can knit them, and it's just the beauty of knitting and crafting and sewing in general is that you can make these patterns to fit your body specifically. So you can make these socks fit your foot exactly how your foot is made, which is amazing. And I love that. So it's just the opportunity for creativity and to make things uniquely to you things is just wild. And I love that. It's a beautiful thing. And I have only talked about socks, and I'm not going to feel bad about that, even though I kind of do, but we're not going to feel bad about that. I just really love socks right now. I have all the various social medias where I post about things that are not socks and things other than socks, but I also post about socks. Mainly Instagram and Ravelry. I did start chipping away at making all my project pages. I've made about 5 of them out of a lot of them, so but 5 is better than none. So that's good. I have show notes, I have tech editing information. If I have forgotten anything, or if you would like to ask any questions or just say hi, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram or Ravelry. I'd love to say hello. Are you participating in the I Love Books and Sock Knitting Knit Along? Because I think everybody needs to join it. Give sock knitting a try. I promise you won't regret it. It's just so much fun. I mean, to each their own. Of course, I know people who don't enjoy it, and that's totally valid. But if you haven't tried it, then you should try it. It's just a lot of fun. Clearly, all my crafty plans are a lot of sock knitting and a few other things thrown in there, but right now we've just got socks on the brain. Man, what a time to be alive. And to be knitting socks right now, it's bringing me joy, which is important, you know? I hope you have wonderful success with whatever crafty plans you get up to. I do also have some spinning plans in the future that I need to iron out in my brain. My wheel is over there, which is why I'm looking over there. But I'm excited about it. I'm feeling inspired, especially after finishing this. So I'm excited. The ultimate goal, really, I feel like this year would be to knit socks with my handspun. I think that would just be like, in my mind, a goal I thought I could never reach as a young spinner, as a young knitter, like years ago. I don't think I ever thought I could do that. I know I can, for sure. It's just a matter of doing it. At this point in time, it is literally just a matter of getting it done. I know I can, and I'm so excited that that is even remotely a possibility. That my abilities and my skills have come so far, and I'm proud of that. And knitting a pair of socks with my handspun would just be amazing. So, we gotta start planning, thinking about it, dreaming. But we're not going to do that on camera right now because we need to close out this podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You are wonderful. Thank you for all the comments that you leave. And just the general support of the podcast. I really appreciate it. I don't know if we're still recording, but I will close this out now. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. I would really appreciate it. It would help the algorithm put out my podcast to other people and other amazing people. Thank you so much for being here and for watching again. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you're knitting on, what socks you're knitting on. Also, let me know what you think of this current setup. I would love your opinions. You are wonderful. You are enough. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all next time. Bye.